Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Marketing the Invisible. My name is Tom Poland, beaming out to you as always from on the white sand next to the big blue ocean at Little Castaways Beach in Queensland, Australia. Joined today by Brodie, who I believe is on the other side at the top of the world. Ian, g'day, sir. Very warm welcome back, I should say, because this is not your first time on the show. But hey there, where are you hanging out? Let everyone know.
I am hanging out in sunny Handforth. People might know from Handforth from the famous Handforth Parish Council, which went viral on the internet for all the disastrous Zoom calls they did. That's where I live. That's my parish council.
In the smack in the middle of infamy. Folks, if you don't know Ian, he teaches consultants, coaches and trainers, our target market, our audience, how to successfully build and market online courses to add or replace their in-person services. And Ian, as you know, we've both been doing online courses for many years. We've both benefited from helping a lot of people through the courses and making a fair bit of money on the way. So it's great to have an expert on this, because I'm not the expert. I'm the expert on maybe getting them to sign up, but you're the expert on courses. So let's have a look at the title, which is aptly enough, Boost Your Income and Free Up Your Time with an Online Course. Ian's going to share how to do that within 7 minutes. Ian, sir, our time starts now. Question number one, who is your ideal client?
Well, it's someone with expert knowledge who wants to build an online course to either add to or replace the income that they get from face-to-face services.
Perfect. Articulate and succinct as ever. Question two, how would you define the problem that you solve? 6.5 minutes left.
Well, it's simply that I help people cut through the confusion and the overwhelm that they often find if they're thinking of creating an online course, and help them quickly and easily build a profitable course.
Yeah, where do I start, right? If you haven't done this sort of thing before, and there is a whole science to it, folks. You can't just go and whack up some YouTube things. There is literally a whole science behind online courses. So, Ian, they want scalability, they want leverage. They want to get their gift out to the world, is what makes the money while they're doing it, of course, help a lot of people. So what would you say are some of the typical symptoms that people will be experiencing if it kind of gives them a heads up they need to find out more about what you do? 6 minutes left still.
I think people typically are in one of three situations if they're struggling with this. One is they're struggling to get started. So they're really overwhelmed by all the different technology options.
Right.
And should I be making videos, green screens, all that kind of stuff? Or they can't settle on a good topic for their course. Or they get started, but they really get bogged down in creating tons and tons and tons of content, and they kind of never get it finished. Or finally, there are people who do get it finished, but then when they launch it to the world, they find it doesn't sell because they've created a course that actually doesn't hit the spot for their market.
Right. So some big symptoms in there. So it leads us quite nicely into question 4, which is some of the common mistakes people make before they find your specialty. We've got 5 minutes left. You mentioned one of them, which is launching a course without first confirming that people are going to want to buy it. What are some of the common mistakes that clients have told you once they've worked with you successfully? They've gone, I made all these mistakes, Ian. What are some of those?
Well, I think a couple of big ones, really. The first is to make the wrong sort of course. And what I mean by that is we're kind of fooled into it in a way because our whole education system, and then when we do courses, when we enter the world of work, they're all about acquiring skills. So you do an MBA, for example, or you do a coaching skills course, or you get a Google AdWords certification, whatever you're trying to learn. It's all about getting skills. And that's great for developing your career. But for a small entrepreneur, a small business trying to create courses, it's the wrong kind of course to produce. And the reason for that is, firstly, people who buy courses to get skills want as many skills as possible. For whatever they bought, they want more and more and more and more. So you end up on this treadmill of producing more and more and more and more content to meet their needs. Secondly, if they're acquiring skills to help them in their career in the future, then it's really difficult to measure the return on investment on that course, rather than if you're solving an immediate problem. And if you can't measure the ROI, it's difficult to justify paying a high price for a course. And then finally, if they're acquiring those skills and they want to write it on their CV for their career, they will prefer a course delivered by a big company with a big reputation, a Harvard Business School MBA, a coaching skills course from the ICF, a Google certified AdWords course. And that's not great for a small business. Like most of us do not have a massive brand in the marketplace. Right. We have great knowledge and great ability to help. We don't have a massive brand. So instead, I recommend people create an outcome-based course. So that's a course that instead of just giving people lots of skills, it actually lets them achieve a result or solve a problem. Because people who get a course in order to solve a specific problem or get a result, they want to do the minimum possible to get the result that they want. So actually you can do a kind of minimum viable product that just gives them just the specific skills they need to achieve that result, much quicker and easier for you to produce, much clearer return on investment, and they don't care really about the brand name as long as they get the results that they're looking for. That's the first mistake, doing the wrong sort of course. The second one, and it's a real biggie, is what we mentioned earlier, and it's building and creating and launching a course without first establishing whether there's really a market for it, whether you're going to hit the spot. And what a lot of people do is they get an idea for a course, and then they start creating all this content and setting up all this technology and membership systems and shopping carts and all that kind of stuff. And then they launch it and they find out it wasn't actually what people wanted. Now you can, of course, do market research and surveys and interviews and all that kind of stuff. But the only real way to know whether someone is going to buy your course is to offer it for sale. So my advice to people is to do a paid pilot of your course. So instead of thinking of the idea for the course, then building it, think of the idea, create an outline for the course so you know what's going to go into it and you're confident you can build it, and then offer it for sale as a pilot and tell people, thinking of making this course, I'm going to do a pilot of it where I create it as we go along, who wants to work with me to shape it to their needs. And get people to buy it up front. And if they buy it, there's a market. And if they don't buy it, there's not a market. And you abandon the idea, you go back to the drawing board, you come up with another one. But it means you're not spending a ton of time and energy and money building a course that's actually not going to sell.
Oh, lots of wisdom in there, folks. That could save years of heartache for some of you. Question 5, we've got...
As for me.
As for you. Where were you 20 years ago? So we've got 80 seconds left, 3 questions to go. One valuable free action, like a top tip you could give people.
Top tip for your pilot, do it live. Do a live Zoom workshop for a couple of hours. It's a short course. If it's a longer course, do a series of little webinars. That just saves all the technology hassles. You get immediate feedback on it, and it just makes you do it. So do your pilot live.
That is a top tip, and you're committed as well. So it gets done. Question 6, a valuable free resource. Where can we direct people to? They can opt into what you're doing and find out more.
Best free resource is my upcoming book, The Ultimate Guide to Creating an Online Course. And the people watching this can get a free copy of that on PDF by going to www.coursebuildershub.com/MTI. So /MTI.
Perfect. So Course Builders with an S, folks, hub.com/MTI, standing for Marketing the Invisible. Thank you very much for that special gift, Ian. We've got 25 seconds left. What's the one question I should have asked you but didn't?
I guess is making an online course suitable for everyone, because a lot of people talk about it as if it is, but it isn't really. The big difference is, the big thing to watch out for is a different style of working. A lot of consultants, coaches, trainers get a real buzz from working live with clients, from getting feedback, but making a course is much more solitary, much more technology dependent. You've got to know that you'll like it. And that's why doing a pilot is great, because you'll find out whether it's for you.
Perfect. Ian Brodie, thank you much for your wisdom and insights.
Cheers.
Thanks for checking out our Marketing the Invisible podcast. If you like what we're doing here, please head over to iTunes to subscribe, rate us, and leave us a review. It's very much appreciated. And if you want to generate 5 fresh leads in just 5 hours, then check out www.5hourchallenge.com.